Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Now at 6, a national call to shop small or do not shop at all. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6 o'clock. I'm Angelo Bavaro.
And I'm Bridget Bureau. Today, there were protests across the country and right here in our state in the form of an economic blackout. Advocates spoke out against corporate greed and vowed to keep their dollars from profiting large corporations.
Fox 61's Emma Wilforth spoke with demonstrators and has more from West Hartford.
What might seem like just a local protest here at the Whole Foods in West Hartford is actually part of a national movement.
Boycott Bezos! Boycott Bezos!
Friday afternoon, Ted Carroll joined the call for a nationwide economic blackout.
We have power and we can choose where we do our business. We want to do business with groups that share the values of justice and freedom and opportunity for everybody.
The national economic blackout gained traction online, spearheaded by the group the People's Union USA. The premise, don't spend any money for 24 hours.
The economic blackout is an opportunity for people, consumers, to demonstrate their concern about the policies being promoted in Washington.
Unlike other boycotts, which target a specific product or company, this is aimed at large corporations run by billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. Bezos' Amazon owns Whole Foods. Organizers emphasize they're not protesting the people who work at Whole Foods or other Amazon enterprises. They're asking Bezos and other corporate owners to reinstate policies and programs like DEI.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Those in attendance Friday also took the opportunity to speak out against larger issues of corporate greed, income inequality, and a rollback of inclusive business practices.
We the people do have power. We need to remember that.
Billionaires don't need tax cuts.
I am so depressed with what's going on in our government, and I have to fight back in some way.
But can a 24-hour spending freeze really change anything? Patrice Luoma, a professor at Quinnipiac University, says impacting profits isn't necessarily the purpose.
I don't think one day of not shopping is going to hurt any of those big corporations, Walmart, Amazon, etc. But I think the people's voices can make a difference. And I think it can send a message, and that message can be very powerful.
And protesters say that's their goal.
Not much will happen from one day or one event, but as part of a larger movement across the country, all it takes is a spark. And tonight we're offering a spark.
And the grassroots group, which initially organized the National Economic Blackout Day on social media, has other boycotts for specific companies and stores planned for the rest of the month. Reporting in West Hartford, Emma Wilforth, Fox 61.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
All right, that was a heated conversation in the White House today between President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The two are meeting to hopefully ink a deal to support the end of the Ukraine-Russia war, but now that deal appears to be off. Caroline Shively tells us what happened.
Mr. President, is there no deal?
That's Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky after President Trump told him to leave the White House, minutes after fireworks erupted in the Oval Office over Ukraine's war with Russia.
You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country.
Zelensky said the U.S. is not immune to the problems caused by the war.
During the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem.
At one point, Vice President J.D. Vance jumped into the fray.
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
The leaders were supposed to sign a deal to grant the U.S. access to some of Ukraine's rare earth minerals as reimbursement for American military aid. But it did not have the security guarantees Zelensky wanted to deter Russian President Vladimir Putin.
I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States.
Reaction from Democrats was swift and brutal.
The President of the United States is a coward who is Vladimir Putin's puppet.
That was Caroline Shively reporting for us tonight. After canceling a formal news conference, President Trump posted on social media saying Zelensky, quote, can come back when he's ready for peace.
Okay, it was a beautiful day across Connecticut today. We hope you were able to get outside, enjoy some of it. Even if you had nothing to do, it's just nice to get outside and go for a walk.
Just such a mood booster to have the sun out, the blue skies.
Puts a pep in your step.
And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but some rain is coming tonight just to wash it away. Meteorologist Deshaun Robinson is here. So Deshaun, how long is that rain going to last?
Mainly after midnight into around 6 a.m. By Saturday morning, much of these showers will push out of our region. So tonight we're looking at cloudy skies, dry for the evening, few showers after midnight. Then as we head into tomorrow, another mild day is in the forecast with our highs hitting the low 60s in some places. March starts rather quiet as we have that high pressure causing dry conditions into the first part of next week. So today was another mild one with our temperatures close to 50 degrees. But then as we head into tonight, we do expect these temperatures to remain above freezing in most places. It is slightly cooler right now with those temperatures in the 40s and upper 30s in some spots. Clouds are increasing overhead. We have a warm front that is approaching. This warm front will cause a couple of showers after midnight, but these showers will push out of our area by the crack of dawn. Coming up, I'll let you know more about this weekend's weather. Back to you guys.
Developing now, one person was hurt in a house fire in Mystic last night. First responders said that person tried to put the flames out on their own.
Unfortunately, the house has a lot of damage tonight. Fox 61's Kayla Cade has the latest.
The fire broke out at the house you see behind me here on Hatch Street around 5:25 p.m. yesterday. We spoke with some neighbors who were shocked about the situation.
It's very, very sad.
Kim Wagner stood outside, looking at a beautiful 3-story home on Hatch Street in Mystic that is now destroyed.
From what I heard, parts of the house collapsed.
The fire started just before 5:30 Thursday night. The roof caved in, windows are missing, and furniture is hidden under the fallen parts of the building.
Last night I arrived here about 5:45, I guess, and it was just full of smoke. I guess we missed when it was actually on fire.
She watched as fire crews extinguished the fire.
And the firemen did a terrific job. The 2 houses next to it and all the houses across the street, didn't get engulfed in anything.
She said she knew the homeowner, who lived alone. He did everything he could to try and save his house.
The occupant was still inside, likely attempting to fight the fire on his own.
Mystic Fire Chief and Marshal Christopher Clarkin says Stonington Police was the first to arrive on the scene. Police directed the homeowner outside and brought him to medical personnel.
Found that he was injured from attempting to fight the fire and subsequently transported him to the hospital. We don't have any word on his condition presently.
Fire crews face many challenges when fighting this fire. Clarkin said they drained the water system.
So it triggered some ancillary alarms in other parts of the town that due to the water flow.
They had Eversource turn off the power in the area
until they could get these lines down because our firefighters were being impacted by the lines coming down and they were live.
There were also hoarding conditions on the property, making it dangerous for firefighters to go into the building. They had to find another way.
So we had 2 ladder trucks that were here spraying water into. You can kind of see the openings in the roof.
It took Mystic firefighters and other crews about 3 hours to put out the fire.
About 8:30 or so, we had the vast majority of the fire out, but we were still chasing, flare-ups and everything, and there was a lot of debris in there that we just couldn't actually get the water into.
Stonington's building official will bring an excavator to remove the debris,
so that we could actually get a better vantage point of where the fire may have started at.
Clarkin said no firefighters were injured while fighting this fire. In Mystic, Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
All right, Kayla, thank you very much. At the Capitol today, Connecticut leaders and healthcare advocates are raising concerns about proposed federal cuts to Medicaid. They say thousands could be left without coverage as a result. At a press conference this morning, Democrats warned that a Republican budget resolution passed the U.S. House, and it could force Connecticut to shoulder a $1.5 billion burden or see a 71% spike in the number of uninsured residents. Healthcare leaders say the cuts would be devastating to community health centers, nursing homes, and hospitals that rely on Medicaid funding.
If the federal government cuts programs or cuts services or cuts the formulary, where will our patients go? What would happen to our 2 hospitals? We're already losing nursing homes in Connecticut.
The budget plan calls for nearly $900 billion in cuts to Medicaid over the next decade. The GOP leaders put blame on Democrats, saying it's their policies that created the need for budget cuts. In a statement, they write, quote, "Time and again, they reject efforts to curb waste, fraud, and abuse, refusing even basic common sense reforms like helping able-bodied individuals return to work." And if Democrats truly want to protect services for Connecticut residents, they should work with federal officials to fix the broken system instead of spending their time in front of a microphone.